This is Joe Miller for his historical speech. George Lucas is known to be one of the most successful filmmakers ever. He is responsible for creating Star Wars and many other movies, such as 1 minute 42 8 seconds and American Graffiti. He was born on May 14th, 1944 in Modesto, California. While he was growing up, Lucas had a huge thing for motor cars and racing, which later inspired his two films, 1 minute 42 8 seconds and American Graffiti. American Graffiti was the one that really got him off as a director and got him started. He mostly hung out at underground races because of his love for racing with his friends. He eventually decided to attempt to pursue the racing career, but that quickly changed when a guy during a race clipped him and he almost died from a flip. Possibly Lucas's most popular creation for the Star Wars saga was Flash Gordon and the Hidden Temple. The Hidden Temple was a Japanese film in the 1950s, which basically created the epic Star Wars crawl that Lucas uses for his Star Wars movies. Now, during the time while he was writing Star Wars, there were many directors at that time that thought the movie was going to flop. Little did they know the Star Wars saga would grow to be one of the most successful businesses and movies in the world. The Star Wars Episode 4 quickly became the highest-grossing film, but E.T. took that spot 5 years later. Lucas continued his Star Wars saga with The Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. He also executive produced Star Wars The Clone Wars, which is an animated series between Episode 2 and Episode 3. Details the Clone Wars. George Lucas took a break after directing Return of the Jedi after a tragic divorce. Then came along the prequels. But however, George Lucas, after directing Return of the Jedi, had no interest in pursuing directing anymore. But he began to see how much the population loved Star Wars, the Star Wars saga. When he first announced Star Wars Episode 1, it was simply titled Episode 1 at the beginning. This was soon to be titled The Phantom Menace, and the next two came after that. George Lucas went on to receive the National Medal of Technology and Innovation in 2006. George Lucas sold Lucasfilm in 2012 to Disney for $4.1 billion. But he did, in fact, keep tabs with the company by executive producing some Star Wars material from time to time. George Lucas will always be marked down in history for one of the most successful directors of all time, and his creations will always be engraved in movie history and will continue to be loved by so many people for years to come. George Lucas always had a way of sticking his movies to his audience. If it was one of the most exciting things that George Lucas has ever put into his saga was the music. The music was created by John Williams. The way the music would grasp the audience in the movie theater was mesmerizing. George Lucas used John Williams for all the movies, and John Williams has continued to use all the music since, except Rogue One. George Lucas has stated many times that Star Wars is his baby, and he is very protective about it, even though he did sell it. George Lucas does still keep tabs with Star Wars, as previously stated. He does enjoy watching how Disney creates the new Star Wars saga. But he has recently came out and said he does not enjoy The Force Awakens as much, but he does enjoy Rogue One. George Lucas has 5 kids, and one of them have actually, I think his name is Jet Lucas. He was actually in Revenge of the Sith as a young Padawan, and the rest came out with normal jobs. George Lucas lives on a prairie called Skywalker Ranch in Modesto, California, and he lives there, and and he takes breaks from time to time, but he usually does enjoy writing and directing movies and musicals. That's my speech. Thank you.